Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and my 80s series. This in fact is not the last 80s video. We've got one more to come. I've been reading all of your comments and I know a lot of you really associate with the neons, so we're going neon in the next video, but in this video we're keeping it to this pastel colour. Now I have got these absolutely gorgeous cassette tape UVDTFs from Amanda Towgood. If you don't want to get UVDTFs, you can of course use your Cricut. Just a reminder that Moulds and Shapes are closing down for good, forever goodbye, heartbreak in September 2026, and they reopen this July to take final orders. So if this is a mould you're interested in, get it on your list. Now, I need to talk about this. I had a major clear out in my craft room the other day, and when it came to these, I realised my glove box was completely empty. Not cool, don't let them run down like that, but today was the day I needed to film, so I did run to B&Q and pick up some vinyl gloves. Now I will be using vinyl gloves in this video, but I am doubling up. Vinyl gloves are not okay for epoxy resin. Do not buy vinyl gloves. Buy nitrile gloves or the other ones, whatever they're called, latex. Nitrile is best, however, I ordered some on Amazon and they have now arrived, and this was purely for this one day, so please forgive me. I tend to not try, honestly, to deliberately touch resin anyway, so I will be extra safe, extra careful using double layer of vinyl gloves. Just do not use vinyl gloves. The resin I'm using in today's video is the Apex. Now this is a fresh kit, so the first thing I need to do, because even though they've got stickers on, I'm 50 next year and my brain is mush. So I need to visually make sure that I absolutely match up the right lids to the right bottles at all times. Because if you don't, you know, your lid could fuse and you'll never get that bottle open again. And yeah, you'd have to cut it open. But here we are, mix measure 1:1. This is crystal clear, beautiful resin. Honestly, it's up there as my favorites, in my top 3 for sure, and they ship worldwide. So the details for the Apex is down below. Now I've got this on my Let's Resin mixing machine while I just crack on and prepare everything else getting ready. We are going for pastels, so I figured I would go with a pale lilac and a pale pink. Now I don't want to use too much of one colour from the UVDTFs because I want them to stand out. I want them to pop against the background. I figured lilac around the rim of the tray and then pale pink for the entirety of the tray, the whole base of the tray. Now I am using Arteza mica powders in today's video, realizing this was the last of this color, which was so sad. I'm running out. I can't believe it. After all of these years of having these Arteza colors, all of my favorites are, they're dregs at this point. So luckily I had just enough. I'm doing a bit of a Bella Swan ketchup bottle move there with my white liquid pigment, just to turn this from a dark purple mica into a pale lilac block opaque colour with no mica shimmer. This is a great technique if you've got a ton of mica lying around but you really want to go with a pastel colour and you don't have any pastel pigments. Add a little bit of white liquid pigment to any mica and it will bring you back down to a gorgeous, gorgeous opaque colour. I was trying to match it to the cassette, but it is a bit paler than the cassette and I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to go with it because quite frankly, it's, yeah, just going to go with it. This is going in and around that rim of the tray. Now what I do make sure I do, I'm not sure I left it on the camera, but after I have filled the rim of the tray, I do go in with a cocktail stick and go in those 90-degree edges, because these 90-degree edges are the kind of edges that will leave air bubbles trapped. Most days I remember, some days I forget, some days I don't do a very good job of it and I still get one single air bubble and that's frustrating, but do your best and work away those air bubbles. Next up we're going in with pink. Now I have not waited for that purple to cure at this point. I've just poured the purple, but I am confident that because the purple is down in the rim of the tray that the pink isn't going to disturb it. It's not going to go down into the purple and become pink. So I'm confident that that's going to be fine. And even if we get a little bit of blending around the edges, that's absolutely fine as well. So again, pink Arteza powder, way too bright, way too dark for what we want. So I am adding in some of that liquid white pigment. That huge bottle of liquid white pigment has honestly seen me through a couple of years now, and that is from Vista Resin. I used to work with Vista. I genuinely don't know if they're even still around. Apologies, but that is from Vista. It is absolutely beautiful, beautiful liquid pigment, and I do end up adding more until I am happy with the shade of pink. As you can see here, I'm just adding a little bit more because I really want this to be a beautiful pale pink to just tie everything together. And this pink and that lilac, honestly, such a gorgeous combination. Now I do have a drip of resin on the tray, so wiping that away with a tissue just to make sure that that does not interfere with anything, and yeah, drying it with the back of my glove. I am making a conscious effort at this point not to let any resin touch my hands. These vinyl gloves, like I said at the beginning of the video, they are not appropriate for epoxy resin use, so I was forever like wiping my gloved hands with wet wipes and all of that. They're just porous, basically. They are porous, and they will get the resin will go through them to your skin. Not immediately, don't get me wrong, but of course long term you wouldn't want to use vinyl gloves. So standard practice, I had to just mix up a little bit more resin, which I saved you from watching because you've seen me do it one time. You don't need to see me do it again. Just to fill this up. Now I have got a big batch of resin that has been mixed up because I am currently working on 2 projects at once. If you saw any neon powder on the glove there, that's why, because I've been working with neons as well for the next video. This is CLaireCCmold. She's pretty. She's so pretty. We have got some white pigment there, you see it? And I don't think I did a very good job of mixing both together. We've definitely got some cells, some visible cells. So do a better job than me. Next up, we're going in with the UVDTF. Now, again, I ordered these and paid for these from Amanda Towgood on Resin Supplies Den. Now, you don't need to pay and buy UVDTFs if you have a Cricut machine and you have the patience for a Cricut machine and the weeding capabilities for minuscule details. Then you can absolutely make these on your Cricut. This is a design from the Cricut, right? It's a readily available public design that you can get from multiple places. So again, you don't need the UVDTFs. If you would rather do it that way, then absolutely make these on your Cricut. Now, the one thing to say about my Cricut design, well, the Cricut design space, is that they have got a lot of tape cassette options. Loads, like absolutely tons. What they don't have much of is like 80s phrases, apart from Born in the 80s or 80s Baby. That's pretty much it. Like, I was really looking for something specific, which I will talk to you more about in a little while, and they really didn't have much at all. I think they only had one single design that I thought was okay, so I did end up having to do my own thing on the Cricut design space. So here I am now. This is going to be a love or hate situation. I had 5 tapes. Now, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had 6 tapes. Now, all in all, the tray wasn't big enough to put all 6 tapes in their full entirety down on the tray. If it was, they would have been crushed. They would have been really, really cramped. So I decided to get a little bit creative and didn't do a very good job of it, funnily enough, of cutting some up and just having it a little bit on, a little bit off, half on, half off, the top of one, the bottom of the other. And I thought this would just be a little quirky design, just, yeah, keeping it a little bit more abstract-y. And plus, I didn't want them too cramped in and crammed together. I wanted gaps and spaces because I wasn't sure at this point what I was doing about Cricut vinyl decal. This is what we are looking like at this point. This is about half an hour later when it's time to top coat. Now, a simple top coat, you still want the tray to be a tray, or it could be wall art. If you were happy with it to be wall art, you could fill it right to the very top. But at this point, I'm thinking I still want it to be a tray. So I'm just putting enough in to cover the base of the tray. I wasn't sure at this point whether I wanted to put Cricut vinyl on it. So I took a video and I sent it over to my patrons. Thank you so much to my patrons over on Patreon. The details are below if you would like to join my Patreon. And I just said, like, what would you do? Sadly, I was a bit late, so I know that not everyone on my Patreon has had the chance to interact with that post because I've got patrons all over the world. And would you add Cricut vinyl detail, or would you leave it as is? Now, a big shout out to Ms. Ms was the first to respond, and I again apologize to my patrons who are in another country. Ms was the first to respond and said yes, put something on there. So I went ahead and did that. But here's the thing. Look at this. This is the next day. Now, I've realized something major. Heat and these UVDTFs don't go together. They don't go together. If you remember the crinkled 70s crinkled t-shirt that I did, made in the 70s, and I had all of this crinkling and ruched and almost melted UVDTFs, and I said then, I think it's because the resin had got piping hot, like over 100-degree hot, like it was so hot. And I did the same here. The resin was not hot, but I made it hot with the heat gun. And clearly we now know that that level of heat does not work with these UVDTF stickers. So don't do that. Don't be like me. Life is a mixtape. How cute is it? Ms suggested this really cool like quote, like I would make 10 mixtapes for you or something, or I love you that much that I would make. And I absolutely loved it. And it was just a case of working out what was going to fit right in the middle and whether I'd have enough room to put a big quote or a, you know, and what would work. Now, I saw this on the Cricut. I think I saw this on the Cricut Design Space. I typed in mixtape. Again, they didn't have much on mixtape at all, like 1 or 2 slogans. But then I typed in life quotes and it said life is a this or life is a that, and I thought, oh, life is a mixtape. Now look at this. This is my favorite bit. My favorite bit of this is the fact that I've now got a shadow because I put the Cricut vinyl on the top coat and not directly on the UVDTFs. It's created a gorgeous shadow down onto the rest of the tray, which I absolutely love. Is this perfect? Absolutely not. Handmade with love, not perfection. We have got crinkles galore in those UVDTFs. Now here's the thing. This vinyl is permanent Cricut vinyl. It's not Cricut branded, but it's permanent vinyl. It's actually HTV branded from Amazon. Bought it myself if anyone's interested. And it is permanent. So the only way to get this vinyl off now is to really scrape it off with a scraping tool. So I am not going to top coat this. Now you can of course top coat this. I've still got enough room-ish to top coat it in, but I don't want to risk it. So at this point, this is what we're looking like, and look. Two little pesky bubbles on that inside 90-degree edge that I thought I did such a good job of trying to ensure I don't get them. I absolutely love this, despite all of its flaws, and that tape at the top was not matched at all. Like, that's shoddy workmanship. Who did that? Do you know what I mean? It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I love the half on, half off. I love, you know, elements of the tape cassette. I love the color scheme, and I love the black vinyl. Now, here's the thing as well. I did look through all of the vinyls. I laid all of the vinyls up against the tray to see what would work best. And I'm talking turquoise, blue, green, dark blue, aqua, teal, you name it. It just had to be black. It had to be black. And there's black outline. There's black in the tapes. So I figured black would be the most poppy, you know, contrasting color for the vinyl that I used. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if this has inspired you in any way. I am definitely still learning when it comes to these UVDTFs. Now, again, I don't want to become a UVDTF channel. You know what I mean? But they're so much fun. And it's really hard not to incorporate them at the moment. But Yes, they don't like heat. Now, these are the ones made by Amanda Towgood. So the ones that I got from Shein and Hemway, I don't really know. I don't recall any issues with those. Equally, I applied a lot of heat to this tray, and in the key rings with the made in the 70s, the resin was absolutely piping hot. So that's my thoughts. That's the only reason I think they're going crinkled, you know, because this top coat really is thin. So yeah, but you know, it's still pretty. She's still pretty. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.